May need to double check what you are or are not wearing the next time you fly. Spirit Airlines is imposing a new dress code for its passengers. The new policy bans people from wearing clothes that are lewd, offensive, or too revealing. That includes offensive tattoos. People who break this dress code will be blocked from boarding their flight. Spirit created the new rules after an incident involving two women wearing crop tops who needed to be removed from a flight. Meanwhile, JetBlue has arrived.
Put some damn clothes on. It's simple as that. I told y'all like 2 to 3 months ago that these airlines were about to start enforcing dress codes. Even Spirit has a dress code. Yes, Spirit, the Walmart of the skies, like y'all call them. They have a dress code. And guess what? They can deny you boarding if they don't like what you got on because they tired. We all tired. We tired of the butt cheeks hanging out, the tatas hanging out. You're getting on the plane with the 2-piece bikini and no cover up, okay? I've seen messages on your hats, on your shirts, all this see-through stuff. They tired. So now they enforcing rules. Now she says, this young lady right here in the picture, that Spirit denied her boarding because of her shorts. Spirit said it was because of her behavior. I know that her sister was arrested for disorderly conduct and trespassing. But this is what she had on to get on the plane. She said she had the robe over it. I don't know why you got on a robe at the airport. I don't know. Y'all tell me. You go. Put some goddamn clothes on. Cover your ass up. It's as simple as that. I get it. You're on your way to Cancun to go turn up. You got your swimsuit on. But cover up till you get there. Simple as that. I'm just saying. What do y'all think? This is what she had on to get on the plane, but she said she had a robe on top of it, and she said nobody else stopped her in the airport, which that is totally different from the airline. But okay, I'm just saying, put some clothes on your damn ass. Simple as that. And then you risk getting put on a no-fly. All of that. Just put some clothes on.
Let's be honest. There's a huge difference between being rich and being classy, and some of the things we see people do for attention are not classy. An expensive designer robe and a pair of booty shorts at an airport isn't a fashion statement. It's a symptom of a culture obsessed with clout, and it's a desperate cry for attention. And it's exactly why dress codes are making a comeback, because it doesn't feel like society is doesn't it feel like, let me back up real quick. Doesn't it feel like society is tripping or slipping a bit? Because like the basic ideas of public decorum and self-respect are slowly fading away to me. And there used to be a shared understanding that certain places required a certain level of dignity. An airport, for example, is a public space. It's not your living room, and it's definitely not the set for your next viral video, on no matter how badly you want it to be. And yet we're seeing more and more behavior that suggests the lines haven't just been blurred, they've been completely erased. And you've probably seen the videos, passengers getting into confrontations over their outfits, sometimes at Spirit Airlines terminal, sometimes elsewhere. And it's often a calculated performance, not just a poor fashion choice. It represents a total misunderstanding of what luxury is and a complete loss of what it means to have class, especially as a lady. Men too, but in this case, because we're talking about the young lady, have some class. And today we're going to break down why this trend is more than just a headline. It's a perfect example of a culture that's put temporary clicks above timeless class, and why institutions are finally being forced to draw the line. But before I go more, let's check out what the news had to say.
Good evening, I'm Jim Barry. Back in January, the airline announced it was cracking down on passengers who it considers inappropriately dressed. CBS Miami's Anna McAllister joins us live tonight from Miami International Airport. So Anna, how did this lady describe exactly what she went through today?
Well, Jim, this passenger, she reached out to us and she said that not only was she not allowed to board her.
Now look at this woman on the news, right? She got some class. And I know y'all gonna say, yeah, she on the news. It doesn't matter, because the simple fact is how you show yourself to the public is a representation of how you self and how you conduct yourself. The one very thing that I have learned is somebody can tell who you are and how you are just by the way you dress and carry yourself. But let's continue.
Spirit flight, but she says her sister was arrested.
Your boarding pass, please.
As Tanasia Greyer approached the Spirit ticket counter, tensions quickly grew. She was just told she wouldn't be allowed on her flight back to Chicago.
I'm right here. You need to get out my face. You don't have to address me like that. You can say whatever you need to say from right there. You don't have to get in my face.
You don't get to tell me what to do.
And you don't get to tell me what to do.
Grayer says it all started over this outfit she wore to the airport. She says she wore similar shorts while traveling on a plane to Miami on Sunday.
And these is just regular shorts. This is how I walk through the airport. This is how I walk through the airport.
Oh, man.
These shorts on.
Y'all see that? Y'all see that? Look, man. Look, let's picture this scene, right? Because we all seen a version of it. Someone decides the perfect outfit for a crowded flight is something wildly inappropriate like this on the screen. And maybe a designer robe meant for a mansion paired with shorts that leave nothing to the imagination. Then they act shocked when airline staff point out the outfit might be a problem. Come on, this isn't an accident. It's a choice. An outfit built for views, not for travel. The luxury brand meant to signal high fashion gets dragged into a setting that feels anything but. Our common defense is, I've been here for 40 minutes and no one said anything. That's a classic deflection. That's what she's deflecting right now. And she put on a designer robe to make it like she got money and all of this just to put on an impersonation when the reality is, do you. Do you, baby girl. Be you in regards of if that's what you like to wear high fashion designer robes. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Nice quality, nice material, but don't wear it outside of your bedroom and in your house. Don't wear this in no airline. Because you want to make a fashion statement just because you feel as though you can afford a designer robe that got Versace on it. I got a Stratford robe. Okay. But you don't see me going outside and wearing it just to show I got a robe? For what? So it completely misses the point. The attire is obviously out of place in a shared public space, is what I'm saying. And that's like walking into a library, blasting music, and then arguing it was fine because nobody stopped you for the first 5 minutes. The social contract was already broken. The airline was just the one to finally enforce it. And this whole song and dance isn't about fashion, it's about a lack of respect for yourself, for the people around you, and for the place you're in. Flying used to be an event where people dressed up for, and now for some, the goal isn't to fit in with a sense of decorum, but to stand out in the most jarring way possible, hoping the drama will create a spark of viral fame. The airport becomes a stage, the argument becomes a script, and the passengers are the unwilling audience. And I'm starting to believe, and it's just my speculation, that she did this for the simple fact that she wanted to go viral, is my whole point. And the simple fact is that she wanted somebody to say something because she wanted the attention. That's why she put this mind-boggling appearance on. And also to brag. How many times have we seen this story time and time again where, well, in the black community, in my community, growing up, I seen brothers, who wear designer belts, Gucci or something, right? And okay, they never had it before, and they're so happy they had something that was a designer or some type of antique, right? The designer belt was an antique, and it was something they always um craved for, always wanted because they seen rappers and entertainers have it with the flash and stuff like that. And there's nothing wrong with liking what you like, but brothers used to tuck their shirt in. They wouldn't tuck their shirt in for an interview with their khakis to have professional decorum, but they'll tuck it in to make sure that belt is sticking out and you can see that thing. And you can see that belt. Like I could see, yeah, I got a designer belt on. Now what? I'm the man. Is all to seek validation and also to stroke your ego because you want to be seen in this designer robe just so you feel like you somebody. But you should already be confident in yourself to have self-respect, and respect for others is my whole point. So the airport becomes a stage, and this isn't a passenger having a bad day. It's a content creator trying to get paid, in my opinion. Because why does this happen? The motivation is simple: clout. Or if you don't know what clout means, clout is basically, you wanting attention to a desperate extent where you want to be looking like the victim of a simple situation, so it go all over social media and it get blasted for the attention that it's getting right now. That's why we talking about it, right? Because it went viral. But often pathetic chase for online fame is the engine driving this behavior, and it's a culture where any attention, even negative attention, counts as a win. Being seen as controversial is a strategy for staying relevant. And let's break down the key elements here. First, you got the context collapse. Wearing something like a bathrobe in public is a deliberate violation of social norms. It's a weak attempt to signal that you're so important the rules of public and private space don't apply to you. It's a power play, but a deeply insecure one. Truly powerful people don't need to wear a house coat in the airport to be seen. True class is quiet. It understands context. This is the opposite. It's loud, it's needy, and it screams, look at me, because it's terrified of being ignored. Second, the brand devaluation paradox. You think wearing $1,000 designer piece would elevate your status. But when you pair it with an aesthetic that screams tacky, the opposite happens. The brand doesn't lift you up. Your behavior drags the brand down. It proves a painful truth. You can buy luxury, but you can't buy class. And class is about how you carry yourself and understanding what's appropriate. And by acting this way, the person isn't just cheapening their image, their own image. They're cheapening the very symbol they're using to project wealth. It's like it's like a inverse, right? That's what they call it in math. Yeah, inverse. The opposite. It's an inversion of the it's like an inversion effect where the philosopher got a beautiful robe that made all his old stuff look shabby. Here, the behavior is so out of place with the luxury item that it makes the item itself look like a cheap costume, a prop, and a sad play about wanting to be somebody. And third, the calculated outrage machine. And these incidents are practically engineered for social media. The person knows this outfit is provocative. They likely expect a confrontation or ready to film it, casting themselves as the victim of a judgmental system. And it's a tired playbook in the clout economy. Create a problem, film the reaction, and monetize the outrage. And the flight isn't the point, the viral moment is. It's a toxic cycle that rewards the most disruptive behavior because outrage gets clicks and clicks get paid. So let's get more into the video, but I wanted to give you guys the context and also break it down.
With my robe, this is exactly how I had my clothes.
She says her luggage made it onto the flight, but she didn't.
I had my robe on. We were getting ready to board the plane, and the lady at the front desk, she stopped me and said, "You're not getting on a plane like that." So I looked at her and I said, "Like what?" She said, "With those shorts." I said, "Everybody here has on shorts. What's the problem with my shorts?" And I've been in this airport for 40 minutes with my shorts and my robe on, and nobody addressed me about my attire. I'm confused. I'm confused. This is crazy.
That voice in the background is Grayer's sister, Jessica Kordelewski. So first, Tanasia says she can't get on her Spirit flight because of her outfit, and then, to make matters worse, she says her sister is arrested for disorderly conduct.
They treated me like a real criminal.
Back in the 1950s and 60s, air travel was a more luxurious and glamorous experience. Passengers dressed in their finest attire. But today, most people in the airport sport more comfortable clothing. We showed other flyers Grayer's outfit and told them she wasn't allowed on her Spirit flight.
Honestly, I don't think that's fair. I feel like every girl, no matter what they're wearing, should be able to express themselves.
Honestly, it's not even bad. The fact that she got kicked off the flight for that is pretty crazy.
As for the sisters, they say they caught another flight back to Chicago Thursday night.
I'm going home. Getting on a flight and going home.
Did you get
done with Miami? We ain't never coming here again. Miami.
All right. Well, we all know Miami is known for they crack down on the whole spring break thing. And it seems like Miami is just bringing order back to Florida. Florida, Miami, Florida, same thing. You know, where college kids used to be able to go on a spring break and get lit and have a good time. And it used to be all this outrage down at the beach. And now, you know, look, things got to be put in place. Rules got to be put in place. You can't take away from other people's experience due to your ignorance. But now let's zoom out, because the trend is what I want to talk about, which is the bigger message in this, is a symptom of a larger cultural problem. the death of shared standards of public decency. And it's the single best argument for why institutions like airlines are not just right, but obligated to enforce dress codes. For a long time, these rules were unspoken. You just knew not to show up to an airport, a metal tube you'll be sharing with hundreds of strangers, looking like you just rolled out of bed, but that shared understanding is gone. And that's why the Spirit Airlines policy update in earlier 2025 was significant. That contract of carriage, which every passenger agrees to, now clearly prohibits see-through clothing attire that doesn't adequately cover the body, including exposing buttocks or your butt or anything lewd or offensive. And also, it protects the company from a liability because then you won't feel sexualized. You won't have someone inappropriately trying that don't have self-control. Now, and it's two different things. I get it. How is someone actions towards sexualizing someone in the airlines control? It's not. But also, we know people just can't help themselves, don't know how to control themselves, even though they should know how to exercise control at their big old age. But you still have individuals like here deflecting on their own actions, and they're confused of why they dress in the way they did. But the airlines didn't tell them to put them clothes on. But the reality is, it protects them also because it's like the airline is also appreciating a customer by saying, hey, show some respect for yourself. Unfortunately, the airlines have to tell her, but also it also protects individuals who do not know how to have self-controls and get a hold of themselves. So you won't feel any type of way of somebody looking at you a certain way, and then it won't be this whole drama that still results into airlines having to deal with it unnecessarily when they just want to give people a good experience on a flight. That's all it is, man. So barefoot passengers can also be denied boarding. Predictably, this wasn't met with cries about personal freedom. You'll hear the argument, I should be able to wear whatever I want. But that argument is selfish. Your freedom to express yourself ends where it starts infringing on the comfort and peace of others in a shared space. A flight isn't your private jet. If you want to wear a Versace Robe and you want to do what you want to do, then get a private jet with your designer self. It's a communal bus in the sky, literally. The vast majority of travelers just want to get from point A to point B without being subjected to someone else's desperate plea for attention. Airlines are private businesses. They have the right to set standards to protect the experience for all their customers. The goal isn't to be oppressive. It's to prevent the chaos that comes when all standards are abandoned. The concern that these rules could be enforced with bias is violent, I guess, if that's how you want to put it. But that's an argument for better training, not for having no rules at all. The alternative is anarchy, where the loudest, most obnoxious person in the room sets the tone for everyone else. So we come full circle. A person causing a scene at the airport over revealing outfit, over their revealing outfit isn't a victim of a strict airline policy. They are the reason a policy has to exist. And what I have learned, and I'm gonna close here, is as a kid, you know how when you have some parent, I have come across some parents where they don't have no rules for their kids. But if they realize that their kids can't handle the freedom, let alone take accountability, then the child is the one that's creating a rule. So if you can't come in at midnight, if you a teenager and your rules are set in to come in the house before midnight after hanging with your friends, and you can't do that, then that mean you have to come in earlier, right? Because now rules have to be in place because you can't compose yourself to be able to take the responsibility to listen to the rule in the first place. This is the same situation. You couldn't listen to the rules of the airline in regards of, well, you couldn't put it like this. Scratch that. You didn't know how to conduct yourself and have self-respect and also make sure and also not invade or take over being obnoxious and ruining experience for others. So now they have to set a rule based on you not wearing certain things that show lewd and offensive clothing or revealing your body. So you created the rules based on your actions, and now you mad about the rule and playing victim and crying wolf because you the very person that made the rules be set in the first place. There was no rules like this until you just took it and just took it to the extreme and then took it out of character and did all of this. So you made the very issue become a rule because you were the issue. If you didn't make it an issue, then it wouldn't be a very rule. But anyway, what do you think? Am I just being old fashioned or is it time to bring back and force basic dress codes in public? What's the most outrageous outfit you ever seen on a flight? And let me know your story in the comments below. On that note, family, talk to you next time. Peace.